Welcome back to AWS with a beer and to the second video in this series of mastering what you need to know to pass the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner Exam. If you missed the first video covering Domain 1, Cloud Concepts, don't worry, you can see it here and also the link is in the comments. So let's carry on from where we left off, breaking down the exam guide and looking at the task statements of Domain 2, Security and Compliance, to home in on what you need to focus on and what you need to study. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content to accelerate your AWS learning journey. So here we can see the extract from the official AWS exam guide on what knowledge and skills will be assessed for the first task statement in this domain. But let me expand on this, helping you to focus on what you need to know. So to excel in understanding the AWS Shared Responsibility Model for this certification, you need a clear grasp of the division of security and management tasks between AWS and its customers. This model is crucial as it outlines the specific responsibilities that AWS handles and those that fall to the customer, ensuring both parties contribute to a secure cloud environment. Now you must first understand that AWS is responsible for the security of the cloud. Now this includes the infrastructure such as data centers, hardware, software, and networking components that form the foundation of all AWS services. And AWS ensures that these elements are secure and compliant with industry standards, managing tasks like physical security, network infrastructure security, and the security of the underlying virtualization layer. Now, on the other hand, customers are responsible for the security in the cloud, which involves managing our data, user identities, applications, and network configurations. This includes tasks like data encryption, access control using IAM or Identity and Access Management, securing applications through proper coding and patch management, and configuring network security settings within VPCs or virtual private clouds and virtual firewalls. Essentially, customers need to manage what they put into the cloud and how they configure AWS services. Now, a part of your understanding should include recognizing shared responsibilities where both AWS and customers have roles. For instance, while AWS manages the underlying infrastructure for services like Amazon S3 or the Simple Storage service, customers must manage their own data and configurations within these services. This means that AWS ensures the infrastructure and availability of the S3 services, but customers are responsible for setting bucket policies, managing access permissions, and ensuring data is encrypted. Now, understanding how these responsibilities shift based on the specific AWS service used is essential for implementing best practices in security and management. For example, in a managed service like AWS Lambda, AWS handles the underlying infrastructure and runtime environment, but customers are responsible for their code, managing permissions through IAM, and monitoring and logging of their Lambda functions. In contrast, for services like EC2, customers have more responsibilities, including managing and operating the system, installing security patches, and configuring network security. So in summary, you need to know the distinct and shared responsibilities in the AWS Shared Responsibility Model. Understand how these responsibilities may vary across different services and apply this knowledge to maintain a secure and efficient cloud environment. This foundational understanding is critical for passing the exam and effectively using AWS services. So this next task statement will assess your knowledge and understanding of AWS cloud security, governance, and compliance concepts. So for this, you should have an awareness of AWS's various compliance programs such as GDPR, HIPAA, and SOC, which ensure data protection and privacy. Additionally, learn how AWS governance tools and services like AWS Config, AWS CloudTrail help to manage and automate compliance processes. AWS Config allows you to assess, audit, and evaluate the configurations of your AWS resources, ensuring they comply with desired configurations. Now, AWS CloudTrail provides a record of actions taken by users, roles, or AWS services, enabling governance, compliance auditing, and operational risk auditing. A key area of focus is understanding the benefits of cloud security, specifically encryption. Ensure you know the differences between encryption at rest and encryption in transit. Now, encryption at rest protects data stored on disks or databases, while encryption in transit secures data being transmitted between systems or over networks. Understanding these methods and how they protect data is crucial for maintaining the integrity and confidentiality of your information. You must be able to identify where to capture and locate security logs, including understanding the sources of these logs, such as AWS CloudTrail, Amazon CloudWatch logs, and AWS Config. Recognizing and utilizing these logs are crucial for monitoring security, investigating incidents, and ensuring compliance. AWS CloudTrail logs provide detailed event information about API calls. Amazon CloudWatch logs enable you to monitor and troubleshoot systems and applications using your existing system, and AWS Config logs help you track resource configurations. Learn how to find AWS compliance information using tools like AWS Artifact, which provides on-demand access to AWS's security and compliance reports, and be aware of compliance requirements across different regions and industries. Now, you should familiarize yourself with different AWS security services and their use cases, such as Amazon Inspector, AWS Security Hub, Amazon Guard Duty, and AWS Shield, which help secure resources on AWS. Amazon Inspector assesses applications for vulnerabilities and deviations from best practices, whereas AWS Security Hub provides a comprehensive view of your security, alerts, and compliance status. Amazon Guard Duty offers threat detection and continuous monitoring for malicious activity. And finally, AWS Shield provides DDoS protection. Now, finally, you need to identify different encryption options and understand various AWS services that aid in governance and compliance. This includes monitoring services like Amazon CloudWatch, auditing services like AWS CloudTrail and AWS Config, and reporting tools like AWS Audit Manager. Amazon CloudWatch provides data and actionable insights to monitor applications, respond to system-wide performance changes, and optimize resource utilization. AWS Audit Manager simplifies the process of assessing risk and compliance with various regulations. Now, overall, you should have a comprehensive view of how AWS supports security governance and compliance in the cloud. Understanding these concepts and tools will ensure you are well prepared to manage and secure cloud environments effectively, meeting both organizational and regulatory requirements. For this next task statement, it's crucial to grasp core concepts and practical skills in identity and access management, or IAM. You should understand how AWS IAM works, including creating and managing users, groups, and permissions. An essential part of this is adhering to the principle of least privilege, which means granting only the permissions necessary for users to perform their tasks to minimize security risks. And you need to recognize the importance of protecting the AWS root user account, which has unrestricted access to all resources, and be aware of security measures to protect this account, such as enabling multi-factor authentication, or MFA, and avoiding its use for daily operations. The root user should be reserved for essential activities like account setup and billing, ensuring it remains secure and less prone to breaches. Familiarity with tools like AWS Secrets Manager and AWS Systems Manager is also important for securely storing and managing credentials. These tools help in reducing the exposure of sensitive data by allowing centralized and encrypted storage of secrets, such as database passwords and API keys, making them accessible only to authorized services and users. Additionally, you should be able to identify and implement various authentication methods in AWS, such as MFA, IAM Identity Center, and cross-account IAM roles. Understanding these methods ensures that you can configure secure access controls and enable seamless and secure collaboration across different AWS accounts and external systems. Another key aspect is understanding how to define and manage custom and managed policies in compliance with the principle of least privilege. This involves writing policies that specify permissions in a precise manner, granting only the necessary access needed for tasks and regularly reviewing and adjusting these policies to adapt to changing security requirements. It's essential to know which specific tasks can only be performed by the root user, such as changing account settings and closing the AWS account. This knowledge helps in planning administrative activities and ensuring that these critical operations are performed securely. Now, lastly, knowledge of different types of identity management, such as federated identity, which allows users to access AWS resources using their existing credentials from identity providers like Active Directory, enhancing security and simplifying user management by leveraging existing authentication mechanisms. Understanding these components thoroughly will help you not only pass the AWS Cloud Practitioner certification, but also build a solid foundation in managing AWS environments securely and efficiently. For this final task statement, it's essential to gain a comprehensive understanding of the various security components and resources available within AWS. Start by familiarizing yourself with the broad range of security capabilities that AWS provides. This includes both built-in features and services specifically designed to protect infrastructure and data. Additionally, knowing how to navigate and use AWS's extensive security-related documentation is crucial to stay informed about the best practices and the latest updates. You'll need to be able to describe and explain key AWS security features and services. This involves understanding the mechanisms by which security groups and network access control lists control inbound and outbound traffic. Furthermore, you should also grasp how the AWS Web Application Firewall, or WAF, protects web applications from common web exploits, such as SQL injection and cross-site scripting. It's also important to recognize that the AWS Marketplace offers third-party security products that can complement AWS's native security tools. Understanding the availability and integration of these third-party solutions can enhance your ability to secure an AWS environment. In addition, you should identify and utilize various AWS resources that provide valuable security information and guidance. This includes knowing where to access the AWS Knowledge Center, which offers a wide array of articles and tutorials on AWS services. The AWS Security Center is another critical resource providing detailed information on AWS's security practices, compliance reports, and security-related white papers. And the AWS Security Blog is also a vital resource offering updates, insights, and best practices on a range of security topics. And ensure you're familiar with AWS services like AWS Trusted Advisor, which evaluates your AWS environment and provides recommendations to improve security and optimize performance. Now, Trusted Advisor can help identify security vulnerabilities such as exposed access keys or unrestricted access to certain resources, and it suggests remedial actions. So in summary, to pass the AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner Exam, you need to be well versed in AWS security capabilities, services, and documentation. You should be able to articulate the functions of various AWS security features, understand the role of third-party security products available through the AWS Marketplace, and know where to find and effectively utilize AWS security resources. So now you're ready to dive into what you need to know for Domain 3, AWS Technology Overview. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments and I'll be sure to respond. Cheers.